Okay, so hello there. The name is Pumper All One, as you probably already know. That's the name of the channel. Everything else that's never going to change. And this is AOS Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, and this is giving you all the information you need to know about and the changes for the match types involving the six divisions and the 9 championships. There's 10. I keep on forgetting. No, there are 9. My bad. There are 9. They're not 10. It was going to be 10, but yeah, there's only 9 because there's 3 that are. There's one that's for Battle Royale. That's Fight for Gold. We have the 2 matches that are team elimination, or as I like to call them, elimination gauntlet, because that's what it basically is. They're not all in the ring together. And, those 2 are the faction of 3 and the combatants. And then we got the 6 divisions, as you already know, they are the KO, grappling, double team, PW, MMA, and Absolute. But before we talk about any and all that stuff, let's first show you how everything looks in English. So I'm not really going to talk about this because I'm only going to talk about the parts that we need to talk about. So just read if you can, and I'll tell you what the name of the website is. So if I remember correctly, it is you put in VW. No, damn it. That's not right. You know what? Let's just. Right there. vpw.ajworld.net. That's what it is. Sorry for that. Or you have a mistake, but who cares? Alright. So yeah, I'm just excited. So with wrestling rules, as you know, these are how they look in English and stuff and so forth. Only thing we really care to know about is what happens with blood and what happens with the timeout judgment. Now, as you know, for timeout judgment, I just call it time decision. So when you hear me say time decision, that's what I'm talking about right there. So there are actually 5 options for, ring out or whatever like that. So, or for when you're for the ring count or whatever it's supposed to be called, or outside like they call it. So if it's turned on, then that's the 20-second count out or the 10-second count out. If it's turned off, that means there's no count out. If it's lumberjack, that means you're not allowed to leave the ring. But if you get knocked to the outside of the ring, then you have. Then when you recover from being knocked outside the ring, you get up on the apron, and then you can decide if you want to get fully back into the ring. And finally, we have false count anywhere, which allows you to win inside the ring or outside the ring with whatever rules you set up. Now, we'll scroll down a little bit more. You should know what all that means. And we come here to the rules at the bottom. So, blood. Now, you have blood turned on or off, and there's a third option, which is unlike most pro wrestling games. They have blood. They have first blood. In this game, we have blood stop, or as I like to call it, blood stoppage. Now, it's similar to first blood, except for it's kind of like a second blood, as in you cause your opponent to bleed once, and then when you cause them to bleed a second time, it becomes a blood stoppage like first blood, except for it's a referee stoppage because it took it twice, or second blood. But second blood sounds stupid, so that's why I just call it a blood stoppage. You know. Now, timeout decision or timeout judgment. I just call it time decision. Determine if a winner can be picked as time runs out. So, Usually, when time runs out in wrestling games, it becomes a draw. But in this case, if time runs out, you go to what is called a time decision, which is what I call it. And is two criterias are used. The first one being remaining physical power. And by remaining physical power, I think they mean like you know how in these games like when a character is injured to a certain area, like let's say they injured to the head or body, they're gonna hold the head or body, or they'll hold the limbs if they're injured to like the arms or the legs and stuff like that. So I think that's what they're talking about with physical power remaining. Then the second criteria is the number of hits landed. So I guess overall damage and like who landed more attacks or who landed the more devastating attacks and stuff like that. So I guess that's what that's talking about with that. Because like I'm not sure, but I have never had a time decision go to a draw. They always pick the winner regardless. So I guess like let's say everything was even with two characters as far as like what damage they did, where they the area that was damaged and everything else. I think whoever inflicted damage first will probably end up getting the victory. You know? Or something like that. You know? I don't know for sure. But title change on ring out. Well, we don't really gotta talk about that because I would never have a title match that can end in ring out. Just won't happen. Nope, just won't happen. I'd rather end in a time decision than a ring out, you know. But I do like the fact that like if I were to have a time decision on the, I mean a ring out on the game for a title match, I can in fact in, invoke the ability to have it in with the challenger winning the belt because you know like in pro wrestling like you see all the time the champions not doing too well and if they're a heel they'll they'll win by they'll lose by count out but regain their belt, you know. So I like that because that's pretty cool or like that as far as that goes. And just so you know, this is a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you what it's for. But two of the pro wrestling type matches will have ring out. And FYI, one of those divisions. Oh, that's the second clue. It's two divisions, but one of those divisions, all matches are false count anywhere. So how could there be a count out with the one that's all the matches like that? So that's a little hint for now, because I'm eventually talk about it. All right, moving on. So we have martial arts rules, and you know the main thing is like they call it down, I call it knockdown, and then they call it suplex, and I call it takedown. They also call it throw. And let's scroll down here. Scroll down here. So there's rounds and there's minutes. Like the minutes of each round, which is the time limit, and then you got the rounds for how many rounds you want there to be on the game and stuff like that. You kind of know what downs and suplex are with the knockdowns and takedowns, stuff like that. So that's why we're just skipping through that. I will say though, certain moves are not counted as a takedown or whatever like that. I guess it has to be a throw or something like that. But like, you got the regular power slams, you know, like you got the falling power slams and the regular power slams that are worth a takedown. But like the Oklahoma slam or the Oklahoma power slam is not worth, you know, a takedown. As well as some other moves like the scoop slam is not a cause as a takedown, even though it can be countered. You know, I can see if like certain moves that can be countered can be called a takedown, but yeah. And you already know the best counter in the game is the single leg slam and stuff like that. So we'll get down to here. It's the same as preview for the blood on the other thing. All right, so Gone save better known as bell save. That's what I call it. And right here they talk about it's also known as saved by bell. So I'll tell you it by explaining the difference with two divisions. So two of the martial arts divisions we have are Kale Division, and we also have the grappling division. Now the KO division has it turned off for when somebody gets knocked down, they can't be saved by the bell if it's close towards the end of the round. So like if somebody's knocked somebody down at like 259, because that's how long the rounds are for the KO division, the count won't stop until he either gives up or it goes to a 10 count. So the 10 count will continue. And then, with grappling, it don't matter what it is. If you landed a takedown for a point or a rope escape, or you have somebody in submission, or you doing a chain move with the wrestling moves or whatever like that, or even the striking combination that you get, with the 6 to 10 strikes. The 6 strikes when you don't have your finisher, and then it's 10 strikes when you have your finisher, or special, or super muted, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so, like somebody's in a submission move, just like in actual martial arts and in actual jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. You got somebody in submission move, or wrestling. When time expires, time expires. I'm not too sure about collegiate wrestling though, so don't quote me on that with the collegiate or the Olympics, because they always change the rules for the Olympics for some reason. For all sports, for basketball, all that shit, they always changing it. But that's nor here nor there. So that's what it is for that. Moving on, I did not find nothing for the Well, I was gonna say I didn't find nothing for the or I forgot what it was for the tag team, but it is what it is, But 3-way matches or whatever like that, or the triple threat match. You see the rules right there, and basically the first one to get elimination wins. There are some wrestling games that have it where you could do a 3-man elimination match, where you have to eliminate both opponents, or all 2 opponents have to be eliminated in order for one of y'all to win. That's the last man standing. And then we have the actual last man standing, which is the Battle Royale. What I mean by last man standing is like free for all last man standing. I know what last man standing match is. That's first person to get a 10 count with the knockdowns and stuff like that. Or TKO in the case of these games, because knockdowns, there will never be a 10 count unless you put it like on easy or normal or some shit like that. But I play this game on the very hard difficulty, which is the highest one, because I do simulations, So there are 2 types of battle royals. You got the random and the team one. The team one just means you pick teams and stuff like that, and once you run out of people on your team, your team is eliminated. So even if there's 20 people left, you don't have 20 people. You have how many people who are on your team left, and that's it. And then you already know the normal one is the normal one. Here go the rules right here. Oh, this is now where you get the ring out loss or whatever like that. When you get ringed out, you can lose and stuff like that. So this is where it's at. And no time limit is automatically forced with this. So it's automatically forced to a no time limit when you do Battle Royale. Yeah. So that's the 2 major things. And yeah, that's all they really try to cover with it. Okay, so moving on, we have elimination, or as I like to call it, Team Gauntlet. I call them Team Gauntlet Elimination or whatever like that, because it's basically a gauntlet. You run the gauntlet, because if you want, you could do 1 person versus 2 or 5 or something, So that's why I call it the Team Gauntlet, because if you want, you could do a gauntlet match or whatever like that. And you've seen that time and time again with the PW rules when I do it for, Faction of 3, or when I use the martial arts rules when I do it for the combatants, Faction of 3, as the name entitles, Faction of 3, 3v3, and combatants is 4v4. Just letting you see this stuff real quick before we accept it. And basically, it's whatever rules you want to use for either wrestling or martial arts. Same stuff as the exhibition. Now that we talked about that, we can talk about league. Now, league is a little different. And guess what? We may start having some draws in the leagues because of, which is the fifth spot chance. That's where you see the leagues and stuff in that, because two divisions are going to have the ability to have count out. So we may see some draws in the league. And we may see some draws also in ranking matches. Yeah. And that was that thing you saw earlier with the screen being like red in the background or whatever like that. Yeah. Talk about that later. So basically all you really need to know is that a win is 2 points, a draw is 1 point to each competitor, and then a loss is 0 points to the loser. You know, you win 2 points, you lose 0 points. If it's a draw, which is you both tie, which is can only happen by count out, basically, you both get 1 point. And there's another setup and stuff like that. Okay. Alright, so did we show? Oh yeah, tournament. So that's the last that we're going to talk about right here is tournament. Now, with tournament, it's as follows. You have it set up for singles or for tag teams and stuff like that. You know how it is. The winning team goes on. And I think you can't have a draw, but if there ever is a draw, then you just have a rematch. So, tournaments are still going to all be played the same for, all the fifth spot chance qualifiers and stuff like that. So none of that's changed at all. Yeah, for no division. Oh, it's all still the same. But speaking of tournaments and stuff like that, we do have this with so like with 5 people, the 5th person is the one who has no opponent. With 6 people, the person at the top and the person at the bottom, they have no opponent. So they get like first round buys or whatever. And then with 7 people, it's actually the person at the top that has no opponent and gets a first round buy. So like the thing is that's weird is like this is for 5, it's at the bottom, the 5th person, and then at the top it's the first person for 7. Which is kind of weird, but I'm glad I know that now. Now, we're going to talk about, I think I already talked about this, but just in case I haven't, I'm just going to say count down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll spend a little extra time on this. There's 98 characters on the game without me creating nobody, and because I created 48 characters, because I have 6 slots and each slot has 8 people, I have 48 people created, plus the 98 people on here, which gives us a total of 146 characters to use now. And you should know, because we'll go on this right here, 43 of those characters are champions of some kind, and then we have an extra 14 characters because there's 6 characters, and that's the 6 characters for the number 1 contenders match for the faction 3, plus the 8 characters for the combatants, which is the 4v4, and that leaves us with an extra 14 people that not going to be already not going to be able to be utilized. So that actually is 47 people. 57 people. Even though it's 43 rank, it's going to be 57 people who are not going to be part of the 5th spot chance qualifiers. There's still going to be people who are going to be part of show A as far as like, team qualifiers with faction 3 or combatants, but as far as like 5th spot chance, if you're in the no one contenders match for either the combatants or the faction 3, you won't be in the 5th spot chance qualifiers. Alright, so with all that being said, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about these championships. So we have the Fight for Gold Championship. And here are the rules. The rules are no time limit, as you know, because that's automatic with battle royales, and it's false count anywhere. So pinfall is on, TKO is on, blood is on, give up is on, rope break is off, time decision is off, and quick match is turned off. So the four possible ways, no, I should say three. Yeah, three possible ways for you to win are pinfall, TKO, and give up. And then blood is only on, it's not on blood stoppage, and then rope breaks are turned off. Okay, next we move on, and that's the only reason this is right here, for you can know that we're now on the faction of 3. Now with faction 3, we'll just talk about the rules first because nothing changes with the rules throughout the whole entire thing. So you have pinfall on, and it's PW rules, I will say that. So pinfall is on, TKO is on, blood stoppage is on, give up is on, rope breaks are on, time decision on, and interference is turned off. You got that right. All freaking matches for faction 3, blood stoppage is on. So, and all of them are lumberjack as well. That's another thing that never changes. So with a title match is 15 minutes. No, a contenders match is 10 minutes. And with the team qualifiers, it's only 5 minutes. Moving on, we now have the 4v4, which is, the combatants. And that is using martial arts rules or MMA rules, either way, And the rules never change for these either. And those rules are 2 points for knockdowns, blood stoppage. We have referee stoppage for blood. We have give up is on, takedowns are worth 1 point, and rope escapes are worth 1 point. And time decision is on, and gone save is off. Now, keep in mind, one of the things that I was planning on doing with the combatants was changing one rule, and it was going to be changed for all 3 match types, and that is rope escapes. I was going to turn rope escapes off for one reason. Rope escapes is a defensive mechanism, and it is a way for somebody on offense to score, but it also allows somebody else to escape, and not take a freaking L, as in get submitted. If you can rope escape, you won't get submitted. So I was thinking of making that free, and that way won't be worth the same points as takedowns. But it is what it is, and I'm just gonna keep it as it is for right now. We may think about changing that up in the future, but for right now, it is what it is, and I think I will keep it where it is because it helps with the takedowns and knockdowns, stuff like that. Because already, if you don't know how, and the thing is, now that I think about it, I'm not going to change it for one other reason. You know how some takedown moves do KO damage? You could get a knockdown or a TKO move with a freaking grapple, and that'll be worth 3 points instead of 2 or 1 point. Because you combine the two, because it's a takedown and it's a knockdown. So you combine them, and that's 3 points. Yeah, so, we're going to keep it the way it is for now. That way, at least, you have some type of way of scoring points if you don't have a lot of takedowns or, knockdowns for that matter. Moves that do knockdowns, You'll have some way to still compete and win on points if you want to, So, we're not going to change that. I thought about it, but now that I thought it through, it makes no sense to change that. Anyway, no contender match is 3 minutes, 3 rounds, and it's 10 points. And then we finally have the team qualifier, which is 3 minutes, 1 round, and it's 5 points. So now that I thought it through, I'm not going to change none of that. I want to keep this up there if I can always know where it's at. Alright, now it's time to get to our 6th division. So, the first one up is the Kale Division. So, with the Kale Division, this is the belt that they have. And let's look at the rules. So, the only rule that changes is the blood rule throughout this whole entire thing. Because with title match and number one contender match, the blood is turned on. And then with ranking, fist by chance, and fist by chance qualifiers, the blood is turned to blood stoppage or referee stoppage, you know? So let's list off the rules so I won't have to repeat it again. So we have knockdowns being worth 1 point, blood is on. You have give up is off. Takedowns are free. Ropes escapes are off. Time decision is on. And gone save is off. As I explained before when we was looking at the rules in English and stuff like that, the reason it's turned off is for you won't be saved by the bell in the result of a knockdown, like if it was boxing or kickboxing or Muay Thai. You won't get saved by the bell. They'll still do the 10 count, when you get knocked down. At least I know that for certain organizations as far as the professional level. Amateur and all the other stuff and Olympic stuff like that, I would not know for boxing and stuff like that, or the kickboxing or Muay Thai. I don't even think they got Muay Thai in the Olympics. Yeah. Alright, it's 12-minute, it's 12 3-minute rounds or 3 minutes, 12 rounds for 15 points. Yeah, that's what I'm going to keep on saying it like that. And then we got the non-contenders match. Same exact rules, only it's 3 minutes with 8 rounds now, and it's 10 minutes. Now we're going to get to the ranking matches. Like I said, now we have blood stoppage instead of blood just being turned on. But it's still all the same rules with the 3 minutes and 8 rounds for 10 points. And then fist by chance is 3 minutes, 4 rounds, 5 points. And then we have the fist by chance qualifier, which is 3 minutes, 2 rounds, 3 points. Okay, so that covers the Kale Division. Now, I made changes to the Grappling Division, and I will explain those changes as we go when we get started with it. So this is the championship for the Grappling Division, and the rules are as follows, and nothing changes throughout the whole entire Grappling Division. All the rules are exactly the same. The only thing changes is the minutes and rounds and how many points. No, the points don't even change. Yeah, the points doesn't change. So it's a 15-point must system for everything from title match all the way down to fist by chance qualifier. And the rules are: knockdowns are off, blood is off, give up is on, takedowns are worth 2 points now, and roper scrapes are worth 1 point still, time decision is on, and bell save is on. Now what you're wondering is, why is takedowns now worth more than rope escapes? Now, if you was listening to what I was saying earlier while I was just discussing about the combatants and possibly making rope escapes free, the reason I changed those to free was because of the potential for 3 points with knockdown and a takedown combined, which is a knockdown that does takedown. A takedown that does knockdown damage. But we don't have that problem with the Grappling Division. And to me, grappling is offense, and rope escapes, even though it does help somebody who's using offensive submissions, I think it's just only worth 1 point in the grand scheme of things, whereas a takedown is offense and trying to hurt somebody immediately. Because you already know with the rest of the games, submission will eventually hurt somebody. So that's what it is with this, that, and the other. So as we know, title matches are 15 minutes and it's 2 rounds. So to me, takedowns are worth more. Also, it'll spice things up and stuff like that. Also, as I said at the very beginning, it's 15 points across the board. So title match, no contenders match, ranking match, um, fifth spot chance, and fifth spot chance qualifiers. That means you can't just get 3 takedowns and then win a qualifier no more. You have to either get the submission or last for 5 rounds and have more points. I mean 5 minutes and have more points. Or have done more damage or whatever the criteria is for a time decision. Alright, so number one contenders match. 10 minutes, 2 rounds. We have ranking match, 10 minutes, 2 rounds. Then we have fifth spot chance, which is 10 minutes, 1 round. And finally, we have the fifth spot chance qualifier, which is 5 minutes, 1 round. Now, what I was going to probably do with this, because I would like some type of changes with at least something in this, or at least have all the matches different. What I was going to do is I was going to keep this like this, but I was going to change this to 20 minutes for 1 round. Because it'll still be the same amount of time, except for now we'll have, 20 minutes straight. And that way it'll be the same thing as these, and then the improvement is you got 2 10-minute rounds to try to figure shit out. But I just thought that would be too much, so we'll just keep it the way it is for now. May change it, may not. But I made some decent changes already. Yeah, so I try to not just be like, man, I don't like that rule or it makes it boring. I try to see the benefits and see if it's there both a positive and a negative what I'm doing and stuff like that. Because with the MMA division, we now need only 2 knockdowns to win. That means people who do striking or people who are just good at getting knockdowns, period, with either strikes or grapples, they will all be going to that division. And guess what that means? That means submission artists, you're at a loss. The rankings will be changing quite frequently now for that division now, for the MMA division, because you ain't going to be able to win qualifiers as easy as you used to, Forget having to get 5 knockdowns. Now you only need 1. And before we move on to the double team division, I forgot to mention that all matches for the Kale division also have quick match. I forgot. That is very important to note. They all have quick match. Alright. So that being said, let's go on to the double team division. So as you know, with the double team division, these are the belts. Yeah, because I was thinking Mass MD, they have 2 title reigns and they have a combined 7 title divisions with those 2 title reigns. So it's why not give them both belts? Why not? Why not? Anyway, so for the double team division, we have as follows. Now, none of these rules that you see right here change. What changes is the match length and the ring out type. So we have as the follows for the rules. We have pinfall on, TKO on, blood is on, give up is on, rope breaks are off, time decisions on, and tag format is tornado tag. Hence the name double team. Because in this game, only way to do a double team maneuver is to have both opponents in the ring at the same time grappling the same opponent. Now, what you're saying, yeah, that's the only way you can do that anyway. No. Because in the SmackDown games, what I know for sure is when you throw your opponent to the corner, you and your teammate can do a double team move. Because in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, you can do the 3D off of that. Off of, tag somebody in, then y'all do the 3D move and stuff like that. With one of y'all hitting the ropes and stuff. Or the double team powerbomb where somebody picks up the opponent in a backdrop suplex and they give it to their opponent, their teammate who's sitting on the top rope who's going to jump from the second rope and do a power bomb. You know. All right. So with that being said, let's look at what the rules are for number one contenders match. It are or the stipulation for it. 10 minutes, no count out. Now we're getting to the fun part. We have 20, I said 10 minutes, 20 minutes, no count out, my bad. 20 minutes, 20-second count out. Now, reason for this is because it's not a title match and it's not a number one contenders match, but that's where this comes in. The new rule enforced for ties and ranking matches. Because now we're going to have ties in certain types of ranking matches. Because we're going to have ties in, the double team, but also the PW division. So in the event of a draw for a ranking match, for a ranked match, there will be no ranking position change. Or should I say changes. No ranking position changes. Yeah, no ranking position changes. And I'll capitalize the P. As competitors' ranks are worth a lot when you're trying to get a number one contenders match or avoid being in the fifth spot chance match. So, with ranking matches, it's basically number 3 versus number 4. With whoever wins and becomes number 3, whoever is number 3 will go on to compete in a number contenders match. And this is all decided in show C. Now, the ranking match that will determine who'll be in the fifth spot, which is also in show C, that happens in the show B. So in show B, it's the number 4 versus number 5, and the loser will then be put into the fifth spot chance. So that's what I'm talking about with that. And I'll just call it fifth spot chance instead of fifth spot chance match because it's a league. But I don't say the word league on here like that. So yeah, that's the new rule that's enforced. And as you know, this is a ranking match. So yeah. So with ranking matches, it's either 3 versus 4 or 4 versus 5 and 3 versus 4. The opportunity to be in a number one contenders match is on the line, and with 4 versus 5, the potential to avoid being in the fifth spot chance is on the line. Because if you're in a fifth spot chance and then you lose in the fifth spot chance, you're out. Because it's a league, and you got to beat all the competitors. You have to defeat all the competitors. So that's what goes on with that. So, like I said, the fifth spot chance is also with the 20-second count out, and that's 10 minutes. And then we have the fifth spot chance qualifier, and that's 5 minutes with false count anywhere. Alright, so moving right along, we're going to the PW division. So this is the belt. This is the pro wrestling belt or the PW belt. And as follows, we have the rules, and the rules down here never change also. So the rules down here never change. So we have pinfall on, TKO is off, blood is on, give up is on, rope breaks are on, time decisions on, and interference is turned off. And this is the only division that has rope breaks on. Everybody knows that the Faction 3 also have rope breaks on, but that's the team gauntlet, which is not, the regular what's the name thing. So, and that's with all the matches with that as well. Yeah. But this is the only division. That's a championship. This is a division. All right. So number one so we got 25 minutes and no count out. Then we have normal contenders match, which is 15 minutes, no count out. Then we have the ranking match, which is also 15 minutes, but now is um 20-second count out. And the thing is, now I'm gonna talk about this one more time. So I was thinking, should I have 10 or 20 seconds for either the the double team or for the PW? PW, I definitely want to be 20 seconds, but I was thinking like it could possibly be 10 seconds for the double team. But then I was like, nah, just have them both at 20. You know, Japanese game, so we're gonna use the Japanese standard for the rules, which is a 20 count. And I prefer that too. Like, I prefer that. And I think that's what that's what pure what's it called? The pure championship for Ring of Honor, they use the 20 count with the pure championship. Yeah. And I think certain matches in AEW, or do they do that for all their matches with the 20 count? I don't know. I don't quite remember. Anyway, let's move on. So we have the PW fifth spot chance, and that is 10 minutes, 20-second count out. And then finally we have the PW fifth spot chance qualifier, and that is 5 minutes, false count anywhere. Okay. Now we're getting to the MMA division. Now, I have talked about the new rule change to the MMA division, but come show 9A, this is going to be the first time I actually be using it, because I decided not to use it for pay-per-view number 8 because it made no sense to go through show A, B, and C and then decide at the pay-per-view to use the new rules. So I'm glad I didn't. So now this is going to be the first time it's implemented. And that new rule is, it's a 3-point scoring system, which means you only need 2 knockdowns to win. You can also win by submission. And the rules are 2 points for knockdown, because that's the only way we could get 2 knockdowns, because like it's set to a 3-point scoring system, and then after 1 knockdown you'll have 1 point left, right? And then after the second knockdown you got 0 points left. So that's why it's set up like that, for there only be 2 of them instead of doing it with 3 with 1 point for knockdown. So yeah, it's 2 points per knockdown. Give up is on, you know, blood is on, takedowns are free, rope escapes are off, and time decision is on, and bell save is on. And you already know when we get to the what's it called? When we get to the ranking match, fifth spot chance, and to the fifth spot chance qualifier, that the blood would be blood stoppage. So we have 5 minutes, 5 rounds, and this is the same for all of them with the 3-point scoring system with only 2 knockdowns to win. Now, before we even go on to the next stuff, the reason that it's only 2 knockdowns to win is because this. I was gonna have it with 3, but I was like, you know what? No, because if we got it with 2, somebody could possibly get 2 knockdowns in the first minute, and we can have quick finishes by KO and stuff like that. Instead of be just with blood stoppage, you can have a title match in the first minute for the MMA match. Even though we can't also implement that shit for the Kale Division. The only way to implement for the Kale Division is basically to put it on very easy, and I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna downgrade the match quality in order to just have it for there could be a 10 count. You know, versus this. And plus, we get plenty of TKOs and knockouts in the KO Division anyway, because qualifiers, you only need 3 knockdowns, and to my knowledge, the majority of them always ends in the victor before regulation is over with, before all the rounds are done, you know? Alright, so, yeah, 5 minutes, 5 rounds, you know? And also, basically what I'm saying is like first knockdown, you could say, oh, he got lucky with the first knockdown. The second one, there's lightning don't strike the same place twice. So two, you get knocked down twice, it's on you. That's kind of what I try to say about it. Okay, so we have the normal contender match, and that is 5 minutes, 3 rounds. You know, same rules for everything as the title match. And now we have the different rule set, as in now we have referee blood stoppage, or referee stoppage due to blood, and that is with 5 minutes for 3 rounds. The same thing as North Contenders matches, just that the blood stoppage is now on. Then we have 5 minutes, 2 rounds for the fifth spot chance. And then we have 5 minutes, 1 round for the fifth spot chance qualifier. Now, finally, the last division. Last but certainly not least, I ain't want to call it Ultimate. I ain't want to call it the Championship. I ain't want to call it none of that. I want to call it, and where I got the name for it to call this championship came from BJJ with Eddie Bravo. You know, if you ever heard of the BBI, which is the Eddie Bravo Invitational, he has a open weight thing that they do for their jiu-jitsu stuff, where it's open weight, and I think they call that the Absolute Division or the Absolute Championship or something. And that's why I came up with the name. That's how I came up with the name Absolute, because yeah, Absolute is absolute, you know. So with that being said, let's get to it. As you know, this belt right here, this is just the shiniest looking gold belt I can find. So like that's why, or the best looking one, at least in my opinion, is the best looking one. So that's why this is the Absolute Division's belt, and or championship I should say. And let's get started. So we have, for all matches, right? For all matches is false count anywhere. So only thing really changed between them is either some of them have different time limits, and some of them have blood stoppage. That's the only thing that really changes: time limits and blood stoppage. Okay, so we have pinfall on, TKO is on, blood is on, give up is on, rope breaks are off, time decision is off, and interference is off. And the gloves come off on this plan. No one contenders match, all the same as the title match, except for now it's 15 minutes. Then we get into the ranking match. Everything the same, except for now is referee stoppage due to blood. So now it's 15 minutes with the referee blood stoppage, or referee stoppage due to blood. And then we have the 10 minutes for the fifth spot chance. And then finally we have 5 minutes for the fifth spot chance qualifier. And ladies and gentlemen, that just about concludes everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. And I'm gonna look at the time, but I can give a damn less how much has passed. 48 minutes, which is no problem by me, because we have completed this video with minor hiccups with me speaking and stuff like that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But I am hopefully going to get started with all of this very soon. And once again, I would just like to go on to this game and just show you, because I'm not going to do nothing as far as like test them out, because you're going to see the newest characters tested out pretty soon. I know at least one of them is going to be inside of the Kale Division's fifth spot chance qualifiers. Yeah. But I'm going to show you them real quick. See, that's what happens, man. Hopefully Let me not press that. See, that would been messed up. And that was on slot 9, so let me see if I actually did anything with slot 9 real quick. Make sure there's nothing wrong with these because it doesn't ask you if you want to save it, it just automatically save it. So everything's cool with that. Let's go to slot 4. That's the one I actually want to go to. But you saw how it said slot 9 where I first switched it around. Alright. So you already know about these two characters. They was in show 8A with slots 1 through 3, I believe. Yeah, slots 1 through 3 was in show 8A with them. Yeah. But newest from slot 4 is this guy. He is a shoot. He is what style does he do? I can tell you what style he does. So he does martial arts, and he is gonna be a part of the MMA division fist fight chance qualifier. His teammate, oh yeah, I forgot to say his name. T-Race 17 or Trace 17 or 317, my birthday or whatever. Don't look shit like me, but you know, just let you know where I came up with the name and stuff like that. So T-Race is a nickname, and I just added the 17 to it, you know. This is the Unstoppable Tank, and he is, I believe, pro wrestling style, and he is going to be in the grappling division. Yo, he is going to dominate in the grappling division, and that's a hint towards one of his finisher moves, so you're welcome there. This is the Blizzard Ice. He's based off of, Sub-Zero, you know, and his style is not bad, but martial arts, and he's gonna be in the MMA division also. And his style is balanced, but he leans more towards like grappling, but it's balanced. He has plenty of strikes as well. All my characters have plenty of strikes and grapples, but you know, some of them lean towards more one side than the other, where they're a grappler or they're a striker and stuff like that. You know that already. This is the Venge for One, Wrath, and you already know who he's based off of. He is based off of Scorpion, my favorite character, and he, just like the Ice character, he is balanced, but he's more so a striker. Finally, we're down to the last two. Now this guy is going to be in the grappling division. The name is the Rush Dash, and he is pro wrestling style. Yep, he's going to be in the grappling division. And yes, you got it right. He looks similar to T-Race 17, and they both were basically created based off of the Blur Speed. That's where both of these characters came from. They're based off of the Blur Speed. He looks identical to him. He looks different than both of them because of the face and stuff like that. But he looks basically identical to Speed. I was like, I'm just gonna make somebody who looks like identical to Speed or whatever like that. And like his name is similar. Like they may be related actually. One is named Dash, the other one is named Speed. He's the Rush, he's the Blur, He could be, let's say this, he's Speed's Quicksilver. What Quicksilver is the Flash. But not really, This is no way of putting it. Then we have Hero, and he is also going to be in the MMA division, and his style is martial arts. And this is basically like, I'll go back on here right here and spin it around for you. So this is basically how Papa 01 used to look on WrestleMania 2000, and the new look for Papa 01 is, whenever I can, make the outfit that you see him now with and that's based off of, you know, that's what is that based off of again? Dang it, I'm trying to remember. Oh, um, SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. Except for the tattoos, man. Like, oh, cause like with the tattoos, like there was like this cool looking like head like skull thing that I put on his chest, cause like I made his skin tone as black as possible, and then he had like this cool looking skull on his chest, and that was in red, and then he had like this this cool like bat thing that would look like your backbones, but it was different because it was all connected and stuff like that, with like different like type of like squares or something like that, squares and shit, and like that was white. And his but the perfect way I had him is like I forget what it was. Was it SmackDown 13? Was it 2K13? No, it was 2K14 because it was the game that had the Rock. So it was either was 2K was no, it was WWE 12, WWE 13, which WWE 13 was the last time THQ worked with um, you know, WWE games and stuff like that. Or and yeah, and yeah, that was WWE 13. Which one was Punk on? Because Punk game came out. Punk was on the cover of the game, and then I believe it was The Rock who was on the cover of the next year. Because remember, The Rock took the belt off of CM Punk, and then they put him on the cover of the game. So, that's I can't even find it on this phone. I can't even find it on this phone. But anyway, I had whichever one had Rock on the cover of it. I had that game, and I was actually able to make my character Pumple One the way I wanted to. I made him pitch black. This game was pitch black, and that red like skull thing. I was able to find that on that game. I'm so glad they kept that and the back stuff on the newer games. So like that skull thing, like glue in the dark on his chest, you know, and then the bone like stuff that was on his back, that glow in the dark and white. So the chest, the face or skull thing glue in the dark red, and then the other thing glue in the dark white on his back. Yeah. Anyway, that would be the wait. Let me. Yeah, I gotta do this real quick because I don't want to accidentally save it the wrong way. Yeah, so it's on slot 0 now. Yep. So that pretty much does everything for the video. I talked about the new characters. I explained everything, every bit of little detail that I pretty much have to explain with this game. And as far as next video goes, we can go off of this. I will be figuring out how many characters left for Fist by Chance qualifiers. Now right here, when you see the 43 is from champions or the champions and the ranked people from the divisions, plus the 6 characters for the number 1 contenders matches for the 3-on-3, which is the faction of 3, and the 4v4, which is the cabanas. So 6 and 4 makes 14, and 14 plus 14 plus 43 equals 57. 57, take away that from 146, you end up with 89. And now we can start figuring out what divisions and stuff like that everybody's going to be going. And stuff like that as far as qualifiers. But we can figure out how I'm going to do the qualifiers. But as far as like figuring out the bracket, I don't do that till after I figure out the qualifiers. So yeah, this is the next video. This is the next thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be figuring out where people are going to go and just how many people are going to go in there. Then I'll figure out what's going to go on with that, because I know for sure I have 16 creative wrestlers that are going into the Kale division. Yes, that's right. I now have 16 creative wrestlers that will be part of the Kale division. So it just keep on getting bigger, you know. And there's probably gonna be at least a couple other characters who's gonna be going into the KO division. But I'm not gonna put the characters who would definitely lose in there. Like if anything, like maybe Semi Shook and Stan Hansen will go into the qualifiers because I know Stan Hansen will enjoy being the qualifiers again. Or guess what? I may put people into. I may just keep 16 people and put some of my creator wrestlers into the MMA division because it doesn't just have to be people who are good with submissions. Now you only need 2 knockdowns, so who knows who's going where? You know, I could put some people who haven't had the best of luck in the Kale division now in the MMA division. And you know, anybody can go in the absolute division. Anybody I created, anybody on the game can go into absolute division because you go in by pinfall, submission, or TKO. You know, and there's no rope break. So if you're a submission artist, that's great for you. Also, you can win on the outside with submission, or pinfall, or TKO. So that's why it's the absolute division. It's a division that's open to any and everybody because you can win inside or outside the ring in the best 3 ways possible: pinfall, submission, or TKO. All right. So once again, I am Popo01, and yeah, we're gonna leave off the video right here. This again is the old phone, you know, the A32 5G. You know, the new phone is the A13 5G, and you know, I be doing the other videos and stuff like that. Also, with this phone, there's the Brawlhalla is on here, which is I figure out how to do the because you can have up to 8 people and like a match thing. So I will be probably doing some 1v1, some 2v2s, and some 3v3s, as well as fatal 4 ways or 7-person. Well, if I do 7 people, I'll just have one of the everybody has 1 health or whatever like that. Because I just jump off at the beginning of it, and they actually fight pretty good because I think it don't have it just go normal, easy, and the hard difficulty, and they be fighting for long periods of time. Yeah, I don't turn off the weapons or anything like that, and like the AI is actually to me, I'm gonna probably do some of those matches pretty soon because the AI to me is better than what you see with the Smash games with Smash Ultimate stuff like that, you know, because I don't care how big your roster is or what type of game you're making, you should make the AI competent. And what I mean by competent is not, you know, sponge, bullet sponge, or they got like unfair like little like quirks or perks or stuff like that that only they can have and shit like that when they're facing off with you. Because all that shit to me is like it rigs the game. Like, why should you give them something that helps them beat me easier instead of just making them smarter? You know? Because once you get over that, like there's a video on YouTube for that new Rocky game that came out. I forget it's called Rumble something. It's something Rumble Champions or something, whatever the heck it is. The Creed game, the Rocky and Creed, that game, like it came out. Not the VR game. The VR game is okay, but like it has little things that could be better about it. It's no better than Wii boxing, you know. Well, it is better than Wii boxing, but not by much is what I'm trying to say. Because there's Thrill of the Fight that's better, and I think there's another boxing game that's pretty decent. Or I'm thinking of a different type of VR game. But anyway, that's nor here nor there and stuff like that. But until the next video, hope you enjoy. Sorry for the little trash talk at the end about certain games and stuff like that. Everybody loves Smash Ultimate, but like, you know, like that damn AI should be better. It should be better, man. It should be better. Stop having stupid AI. I don't get why people don't smarten up the AI. And they're not the only ones. Smash Ultimate is not the only ones. Why is Street Fighter 5, like, you know, you made the game easier for people to play, but you made the AI just as stupid. like artificial intelligence should just be artificial intelligence. Like, Easy mode shouldn't be the same thing as the highest difficulty, okay? Like, you gotta do better. Just gotta do better with the AI, you know? Gotta do better. And you can make a guap for a game that's not open world or a platformer or RPG or, action combat. You could do it for fighting games, you know? And playing fighting games have that set up already like that, you know? So until next video later, and hope you enjoy. Peace out.